उसमें पेन ड्राइव में सब नीचे है ना, देखो।
Welcome you all to the sixth session of International Conference on Ancient Science, Technology and Civilization, which is jointly organized by Divi Welfare Society, Varanasi, India, along with STEM Institute, Varanasi, India, and International Educators Group, Washington, USA, and also supported by BOS, Bag and Energy Research Society, Yog Pran Vidya, Learn Quick Zone, and Youth for Nation. Firstly, I would like to welcome and thanks the chairperson and our guest speakers for taking their precious time out and making this event. And I would like to thank the audience for being present here today. Well, this is obvious to feel glad to welcome you all. I am very happy about my role in this conference as this is international conference is built with the intent of active and interactive learning organized by Divi Welfare Society. Now, I would like to welcome our chairperson of this session, Professor Jagdish Rai sir. Professor Jagdish Rai sir earned his PhD degree from BHU Varanasi. He was professor and head of physics department at IIT Roorkee. Later, he joined Invertis University Bareilly as a vice chancellor. He has served the Indian Institute of Technology for almost 35 years and he has worked in the countries of India, USA, Germany and Canada and has got several awards and honor to his credit. Over to you, sir.
So, I invite Dr. Nagendra Rai to kindly deliver the talk. Quit कर दे.
स्क्रीन शेयरिंग में स्क्रीन शेयरिंग डिसेबल है ओ सर स्क्रीन शेयरिंग डिसेबल बता रहा है हैं? अच्छा 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 करो करो कर इनेबल कर दिए हाँ हाँ अब ये कर दूँ पूरा फुल कर दो फुल ये घुमाते रहे चलता रहेगा ठीक ना हाँ
Dr. Nagendra is a principal scientist, Crop Improvement Division, ICAR, Indian Institute of Vegetable Research, Varanasi. He is decorated with award
आगे
like
बढ़ते
Dr.
जाएगा
Kriti
करते
Singh
जाएंगे
Lifetime Achievement Award, Dr. Harbhajan Singh Memorial Award, Research Paper Reviewer Award, and STF Gold Medal 2013, and so on. He holds the Fellowship Society for Horticulture Research and Development, International Society for Non-Science, Uttar Pradesh Academy of Agriculture Sciences, and Indian Institute of Vegetable Sciences. Over to you, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
sir. Sir, are you listening my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, okay. Sir, should I start?
Yes, sir. Please,
Okay.
please start.
Good morning to all of you. Respected chairman of this session, Professor Jagdish Rai, co-chairman, reporters, fellow delegates who are attending the international conference on ancient science, technology, and civilization. The topic which I have assigned to me is new agriculture education policy for enhancing India. First of all, I am highly grateful to the organizing secretary of this conference who has given me an opportunity to sharing my views on the topic which I have assigned. Agriculture is not a new, its history was started from the Neolithic period, which roughly came 8000 to 4000 BC. And in this period, in agriculture, first start the cultivation of the wheat and barley. Then people were also knowing how the crops can be raised in the row and how it can be threshed. And in this period, rearing of the cattle, sheep, and goat were also introduced. After this period, the Indus Valley civilization came, which was roughly the 4500 BC. In this there was very good system development, particularly in agriculture. That was the irrigation and water storage system which was developed, and some the artificial water reservoirs were made. And in this period, the animal-drawn plow were also developed. After that, then Iron Age came, and it was roughly in 1500, and that period was the Maurya Emperor. And in this period, the whole means construction of the dam, particularly for the how they store the water system was established. And the one new thing were that earlier the bullock cart were used to carrying the goods, but now here the horse-drawn chariots were developed. Then Middle Age came. That period was the Mughal period that was started 1526 to 1856. And in this period, the land revenue system established by measuring the lands. And in this period, the systematic planting of the crops, how to manure the crops, how to weeding is done, irrigation systems, and how to protect the crop from the various insect and pests. And then how means sustainable agriculture. Today we are talking about the sustainable agriculture. This is not a new thing. This sustainable agriculture was very early. That was the Mughal period. And then the trades market were started, particularly for the black pepper and cinnamon. After that, then colonial period came. In this period, the people were moved toward how the agriculture can be commercialized. Then commercialization came, and because of due to the various trade of the market, particularly spices, then economy enhanced the economy, and then they shifted for development of the national market, and the other activities were done. Post-colonial period, in this Kenya, our 5 plants were started. That was the first 5 plants. It was started in 1951 to 56. In this period, there was the Bhakhara Nangal Bandh, Hirakund Sagar, Damodar Valley was established. And the second 5-year plan that was started in 1969 to 1974. This was a very revolutionary phase of in agriculture, because this during this period, our green revolution came in picture, and that was given by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Sahab, and particularly for the introduction of the high yielding variety, that was the wheat and barley. And then this revolution, number of the revolution came. In this period, the number of the institutes were also established, like the ICAR, particularly for the agriculture research. NABARD was also established, particularly for the finance procurement. FCI was established for the procurement of the food grain. If our grains were surplus, how to procure the material, then FCI. Krishi Vigyan Kendras were also established in this period for particularly the transformation of the agriculture. Now right now at present, what we are, if we see the worldwide, we are in 18% of the total world populations. We have the 11.5% livestock, 1% of water, 2.4% area, 142 million cultivated land, 60 million net irrigated area, when our cropping intensity average is 138%, and 58% populations are dependent on the total agriculture. And due to their number of the development, particularly for the development of the green revolution, revolution of green revolution, white revolution, arrow revolution, blue revolution, silver revolution, round revolution, pink revolution, gray revolution, red revolution, and golden revolution. And due to these regions, now present we are in position to the food sufficiency and food export. Earlier, we were the food deficient, and we were importing our foods in 1947, but we in 1980 towards, we are in position to export our cereals, our fruits, vegetables, others. And now we are contributing the 17.8% of total GDP. Now we are moving towards our modern agriculture, particularly for introduction of the drone technology, big data analysis, internet things, robotic system, artificial intelligence, and number of the new technologies are coming, and we are using in our country. You are using these are technology. In spite of number of the developments, there are number of the challenges. But what I am thinking, the challenges like land fragmentation is very crucial, because if we see earlier when we are before the 50 or 50D, everybody has 100 bigha or you can other 100 hectares area, but now hardly we have only the 5 and 4 bigha lands. It is very good alarming situations. Increasing the input cost. Today, if you see the input cost for the agriculture operations, now day to day increasing. That's why people are they are not coming forward for the agriculture in agriculture. Climate change, as I think you have seen the 2 days back what we were doing. We are just waiting when a drop of water came, and then people will start the agriculture operation. But thank God, we our 2 days from the 2 days we are getting some rains, and agriculture operation are started. Yes, unforeseen situations like COVID-19, everybody faced. What was the position and the effect of the COVID in our agriculture system and other systems. Now, as per concern the agriculture educations, the agriculture education was also a very a very old history, and very early the G.K. Charlton had defined that education is simply the soul of the society, and it passes from one generation to another, and is a major source of livelihood, promotion, and welfare of the society of the country. And if you see the record of the agriculture educations, we are getting the record in our education system earlier, that is Takchala, Nalanda, and Patliputra, and these education, which were considered the very old education organization, as institutes or universities. In these education system, we were found that agriculture was their course curriculum. As for concern the education system, these our education system, number of the scholars that produce. These scholars are Charak Susutra, Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, Chanakya, Madhava, Patanjali, and Paunini. The production of the agriculture science was started in 1977, and it was established by the establishment of the college that is set up at, and it was it is located in Madras. After that, then 3 veterinary colleges were started. That was the Bombay in 1886, and Calcutta 1893, and Madras 1903. Subsequently, number of the 5 colleges were established, and that was in the Kanpur, I think earlier. Nowadays it is a Chandrasekhar Raja University. Earlier it was known as a Patthar College, and then Coimbatore, Nagpur, and Pune, that was established in 1907, and in Sabor it was established in 1908. For the improvement of the agriculture education, then Ministry of Education appointed a commission, and under the chairmanship of the Sarpalli Radhakrishnan, that time he was the president of our India. That was in 1948, and his team prepared a report that university education, and they particularly for the university education, and they realized that agriculture education should be established in rural areas, and they are called as a rural universities. The University Education Commission then came in 1949, and they recommended that there is setting of the rural universities, and it was endorsed by the 2 Indo-Joint American team, that was 1955 and 1959, and as the Ford Foundation Study Team 1959. In 1960, the Agriculture University Committee constituted under the chairmanship of the Dr. R.F.W. Cummings, and he prepared a guideline how to establish the agriculture universities in different states with the support of the ICR. And the first agriculture university was established in Pantnagar, Govind Ballabh Pant University, and earlier it was in Uttar Pradesh, now it is in Uttarakhand, and it was established in 1960 on the pattern of the land grant system in United States. And in this university, the first convocation was addressed by the first president, Sarpalli Radhakrishnan ji, and he did the convocation address. At that time, he was told that we cannot blame the land, we cannot blame anything. We who are the leader of the country must not fail the farmers. We must try to bring to them the most up-to-date knowledge. That is what we are to do. I have not doubt the discontinuance of the import of the food grains from abroad. I hope the graduate of this university will set a different example and will do something subsequently for the improvement of agriculture. And then after that, the second education commission that came in 1964-66, and they recommended that at least one agriculture university should be in the states, and all the states have now at least one agriculture university. Now, in modern act, then specialized came into the model commission agriculture, and they established they have in this commission on that recommended that a state can also establish the more than 1 or 2 universities, and right now what we are seeing that in Each states they have a number of the university, agriculture university, and with the affiliated college. The agriculture education, we have very good strength, particular in agriculture, because we have the 75 agriculture universities which are structured on land grant pattern USA, and they are involved in the three-tier system of our education, that is teaching, research, and extension. Out of these, 63 state agriculture universities and 3 central agriculture universities and 5 deemed universities and 4 the central universities with the agriculture faculty. We have also a very good strength, that is ICR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, which is under the umbrella of DARE and the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperation and Farmer Welfare. And right now we have 106 institutes and 721 Krishi Vigyan Kendra and 69 AICRP All India Coordinated Research Projects. And we are framing that National Agriculture Research Education System, that is a marriage, and it is the largest system of the world. This marriage, what they are doing, they are generating this scientific manpower, teachers, technology, and transfer, how to transfer the technology. And due to these reasons, the India from the ship to mouth, the right to food status, rendering India is the major exporter of agri-food product and largest second agrarian economy in the world. Besides these strengths, we have our agriculture education as weakness. These weaknesses are erosion of basic sciences from the agriculture course curriculum, insufficient academics, widening disconnect between the education, research and extension, limited digitalization, indifference of the youth toward the agriculture, disconnect between the agriculture education and employment, extension in breeding, poor system of evaluation, monitoring, impact assessment, accountability, insensitive and inefficient governance. Looking the weakness, then national education policy then came into the existence, and the Ministry of Human Resource Development released a draft new education policy in 2019 and for the public consultation. Finally, on 29 July 2020, the cabinet approved the new education policy with the vision that make India a global knowledge superpower, students having respect toward the fundamental duties and constitutional values, pride in being Indian in thought, intellect, and disposition, and develop the knowledge, skill, value, commitment to human rights, sustainable development, and global well-being, truly global citizens. With these education policy was emerged with some fundamental principles. These fundamental principles are holistic development of study, chosen path for the life for the talent and interest, no separation between the art and science, between the vocational and academic streams, multidisciplinary and holistic education, emphasis on the conceptual understanding, logical decision making and innovation, ethics, human and constitutional values, promoting the multilingualism, reduce the coaching culture, extension use of technology, synergy in course curriculum, continuous review of the progress, culture, heritage, tradition, and knowledge system, and substantial investment. These are the basic principles of our new education policy. Taking the help of the new education policy, then ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, then they have framed the National New Agriculture Education Policy in 2020. And with the objective of this policy based on the progressive, futuristic, and the student-centrics. With the taking the account that it must be easily accessible, equity, good quality, affordability, and accountability, and it will promote the flexibility of in education for our youth, multidisciplinary. They have a very good chance to take the degree in multidisciplinary. People needs aspirants, voice from the ground, Janvani, science from the implementation of the indigenous and endogenous traditions, knowledge and culture heritage, and horizontal and vertical mobility and credit bank. Earlier, our agriculture education was based on the land grant, but now this new new agriculture policy, it is based on the word grant basis. Reason behind our focus on the globally by taking the account of global economy, knowledge economy, digital economy, global zero hunger challenges, transformed from the STEM to STEAM, that STEM science, technology, engineering, medical, and now it will be this science, technology, engineering, agriculture, and medicals, and it will reform, perform, and transform. And there is also the intervention of the new technology like the digitalization, ICT, biotechnology, nanotechnology, agro-processing, artificial intelligence, precision agriculture, GIS and remote sensing, use of electronic media, and synergy of the scientific social responsibility and corporate the science responsibility. This for our main new national agriculture education policy, our main component is the internalizing. For that purpose, a committee was constituted in 2013 under the chairman of the Dr. R.V. Singh. And this committee recommended that how we can become a international level. And they have given some our recommendation. These recommendations are creation of the world-class agriculture university, multidisciplinary education and research university, that is MERUJ, minimize the inbreeding and promote the institutional linkages, establishment of National Research Foundation, strengthen and the streamline center-state partnership, promotion of scholarship by private organization for students, online education, open distance learning. This is also very, you see our status in India, this is very less. That is hardly in the only 5% as compared to the other part of the country where the 96% the online systems are going on. To ensure the integrity, transparency, resource, efficiency, and good governance, youth for leadership in agriculture, promotion in the professionalism, trilateral collaboration, and establishment of the higher education institutions. Now, this changes will be start from the very beginning. Start from your primary stage, that is primary schools, high school, colleges, and university. We see the syllabus of these our agriculture in so where those same syllabus which we have studied in very early, that was in 1978. So there is need to change in this new education policy. There is a provision to they had a provision to change in every steps, and establishment of also the higher education institutes, and this higher education institute will be established number of the startup, and that can be utilized for our youth involved in agriculture, particularly for the start the startup and to solve the unemployment in our country, particularly for the start the incubation centers, technology development center, incentive to frontier area research, greater industry academic linkages, and interdisciplinary research, including the humanity and social science research. IARI, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, has given a very good proposal for the development of the MERUJ, multidisciplinary education and research university, and they have given the check out the program and where the number of the institute and organization involved, and they will work together and develop the system for the in form of the multidisciplinary education. The new agriculture education policies, a number of initiatives have taken. That is a one program, that is a student ready program. Student ready program is a very good program, and this program means is based on the rural, and ready means rural entrepreneurship awareness development yojana. Under this yojana was framed in 2015, and in this yojana there are number of the programs, and which program can be used by the youth involved in agriculture, and they can be establish their own business and become as a employment generator rather than the employment seeker. But these programs are experience learning program, rural agriculture works, in-plant training, industrial attachment, hands-on training, HOTS, skill development training, student project agriculture pursuit for the inspired research excellence. Dr. Paroda, R.S. Paroda, or ex-DG of ICR, they have also recommended, their committee had recommended in 2019. If we see the interest in agriculture in our young generation, very less. For that purpose, they have thought how we can attract the youth in rural areas, attracting rural youth in agriculture. They have recommended the number of the programs following, that is a national mission on youth in agriculture, youth agriculture nexus, plow to plate initiative, youth as a farmer in, and not youth as a not a farmer, it should be considered as a value chain developer. Institutionalization of incentive awards and reward system, successful entrepreneurs of role model youth, agri youth innovation corpus fund, creation of development, and due to these policies, this will affecting our education system. If we see the data from the 2016 and 17 and 2020 and 21, there is tremendous increase in the youth in agriculture. In UG program, the intake level has increased up to 58.27%, where in PG level that is increased to 12.85%, and PhD level it has 199%. In this committee has also reported that agriculture must be declared as a professional degree like the engineering and medical sciences, and they have also recommended on the specialization degree should be, and for that they have chosen the 8 and 9 disciplines, and these disciplines are agriculture, food technology, fishery, community science, sericulture, horticulture, food nutrition, dietary, forestry, dairy technology, biotechnology, and agriculture engineering. In the suppose a youth have a degree of agriculture and he is interested to develop experience learning program, there are the areas they have chosen, and these areas they can set up their own business, they can set up their own organization, and they create the employment and become an employment generator rather than employment seeker. These areas are production technology, bioagents, biofertilizer, seed production and technology, mushroom cultivation technology, soil plant water seed testing, poultry production technology, hybrid seed production technology, floriculture landscaping, food processing, commercial horticulture, agriculture waste management, organic production technology, concept. If you graduate in fisheries, these are areas they can choose. If you graduate in the forestry, these are the areas they can use, particularly for raising the quality planting material for forest regeneration, apiculture, ecotourism, wild animal health management. If a graduate in the home science, particularly the rural females, they are any kind can establish their own business. If textiles, in case of the event manager, they can interior design decorator, computer aided interior designing, they can establish their own business. If the community nutrition they are choosing, they can diet nutritional counselor and food preservation storage and nutraceuticals and health foods and early childhood and care, outreach education and management, sanitation, hygienics. In our new system, there is also adding new courses has been added, looking the account of the region specific, and these means if the area in the comes in coastal area, the agriculture courses on the base of the coastal, and if area belongs in the hill area, their courses are the hill area. If they belongs in tribal area, courses are there, and these are the new courses which have been included in our new education policy, that is genomics, specialty agriculture, plastic agriculture, GIS, renewable energy, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, dry land horticulture, safety standard, community science, food storage engineering, big data analytics, precision farming, high-tech cultivation, and food quality and sericulture. On that basis, there is a degree how to, what degree should suppose that in earlier, suppose that you then not able to complete their degree, they are not able to get the degree. But now in this new education policy, yes, if you have completed 2 semesters, you will provide a certificate. If you have completed 4 semesters, you will provide a diploma. If you have completed all this means of 8 semesters, then you will get the whole complete degrees. In MSc and PhD, there is no much more changes. Yes, ICR has also given a very full support for the establishment of higher agriculture education institutes in the term of the civil works, particularly student hostel, classroom, faculty, and other old historical renovation of old lecture. Academic augmented, particular curriculum development, delivery, study UG and PG teaching. In component wise, the ICR is giving the support to the various universities and organizations for the renovations, skill development, and the human resource development. These are the areas where the ICR is ready to give, and they are also providing the financial support for the becoming a higher education, good quality of the education. Then on that, there are also changes in the examinations. If your OGPA is in 5 to 5.9, then you will consider pass. If your OGPA is 6 to 6.9, then second division. If your OGPA is 7 to 7 point, means first division. If your OGPA 8 above, then you will be considered as a first division. These are the how to calculate the OGPA from the percentage marks. They have also prepared a very good roadmap from the 2020-21, then they will to 2023. In 23, the constitution of the 6th Dean Committee and formation they have constituted, and SU may develop a institutional development plan that is identify their strength and research areas. In 2020, all these institutes located the same premises, offering there the professional and general education may aim to originally evolve in multidisciplinary institution cluster offering both and in 2035 achieving the 50% of the gross enrollment ratio. In 2045, all the higher educational institutes should aim to become a multidisciplinary institute. Where forward, particularly what steps should be taken, provide the adequate fund, improving the teaching and research. Because if you see the expenditure on the teaching research is very less, and it should be, because day to day means every year the funds are reducing, and it is very difficult to manage the organizations. Review the develop the adhere the clear the responsibility and relationship for the center state government body and vice chancellor. Streamline the functioning of the ICR. All the central level initiate learning forum to bring together concerned state and institutional leaders. Appoint an international review committee in order to put the Indian higher education at par with the world-class universities. Set up to take in the higher education, what the higher education institutes should be taken. The board of the governance should be ensure good governance. Establish the institutional lead committee, including external experts. Adequate faculty staff. The vice chancellor should also develop a decision-making power to academic research and other university level council. Light but tight regulation by a single regulator for all the professional education. Establishment of nationwide program on youth for the leadership in farming. The paper which I have consulted for the preparation of this presentation, my message is India is not a sort of fund or talent. With aggressive but sensible political will and commitment, India can achieve excellence in higher agricultural education comparable to all world-class universities. India had done it in the past and can do it again. With these words, I am highly grateful to again the organizing secretary. They have given me opportunity to sharing my knowledge or what were the sharing my the views for the regarding the topic which I have assigned. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, sir. Respected chairman, sir.
Thank you very much for such a nice talk.
Will you
And,
permit me?
uh,
Will you permit me some minutes?
Yeah, please,
Okay,
you have
sir.
the time.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Actually, in our institute, there is the RSC program is going on, and
Yeah.
all the session I could not attend. First of all, I am apology, but I have attended the inaugural session. Really, this session was very. I can give the what percentage mark given. I can give the full marks. I am really. I have listened the voice of the Professor Rustugi साहब, although the जगदीश सिंह साहब हमेशा डॉक्टर साहब के बारे में बात किया करते थे कि डॉक्टर रुस्तगी, तो मैं समझता था कि रुस्तगी साहब बड़े ऐसे होंगे, ये होंगे, तो I was but when I saw his face, such a smiling person, और उनका जो प्रेजेंटेशन मुझे लगा कि मैंने कहा यार तो बड़ा डॉक्टर साहब बड़े कितने हैं, और उनकी प्रेजेंटेशन इतनी सही थी और बड़ी अच्छी थी। इसके बाद मैं इनका सुना जीएस मूर्ति साहब का, उनके भी बड़े अच्छे थे। फिर जीएन तिवारी साहब ने सही शब्द कहा था कि मालवीय जी का नाम जो है वो हमेशा रहेगा, और भले धीरू भाई अंबानी और जो थे अनिल अंबानी और मुकेश अंबानी कुछ रहे, लेकिन मालवीय जी का नाम सर मुझे भी बहुत बड़ा गर्व है कि मैं भी बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी का एलुमनाई हूँ। और जो आप लोगों की सोच है, चाहे वो प्रोफेसर जगदीश राय हों, चाहे वो जीएन तिवारी साहब हों, चाहे वो वीरभद्र जी हों, जो आप लोगों की सोच है, मेरी भी सोच उसी तरह से मिलती है। यही रीजन है कि मैं प्रोफेसर जगदीश राय को अपने आगे के करियर में एक गुरु भी मानता हूँ।
थैंक यू।
और जैसा कि डॉक्टर वीरभद्र जी ने कहा था कि मैंने शुरुआत किया, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं थे इवन की रजिस्ट्रेशन कराने के लिए। मैं वीरभद्र जी को एक कहना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं एग्रीकल्चर के विषय में हूँ, मेरे तरफ से जो भी हेल्प होगी, चाहे वो रिसर्च की होगी, बच्चों के पढ़ाने की बात होगी, उनके लिवलीहुड को यदि आगे की बढ़ाने की बात होगी, तो मैं हमेशा फॉरवर्ड आपके आगे कंधे से कंधे मिला के चलूंगा।
थैंक यू।
आपको एक गर्व होना चाहिए कि आप अपने 3 साल के टेन्योर में जितनी बड़ी आपने ऐसी इंटरनेशनल ऐसे ऐसे लोगों को आप अपने जोड़ लिया कि जो कभी हम सोचते नहीं थे।
Our secretary. There is some problem with your system. Please try it. Mr. Program? क्या करें? हाँ बनारस में। हाँ, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वेजिटेबल रिसर्च है। हाँ आईसीआर का जी। हाँ डॉक्टर साहब फिर से ज्वाइन कर लीजिए। Hello.
Sir, sir.
Yeah. Professor G.N. Tiwari, I have talked on many occasions about him, is here, and after some time he will also deliver a talk. Our Secretary Veerbhadra Singh wants to say something.
सर, सबसे पहले आपको प्रणाम और जगदीश राय सर को भी बहुत बहुत प्रणाम, और हमारे सामने समक्ष तिवारी सर हैं, उनको भी प्रणाम, और जो लोग सुन रहे हैं सबको साधुवाद और प्रणाम। सर, आज भी याद है, लगभग 2 साल पहले आपसे मुलाकात हुई थी राय सर के आवास पर। तब भी आपने ऐसे ही अप्रिशिएशन किया था जैसे आज कर रहे हैं, और समझ लीजिए कि राय सर और आप और तिवारी सर, ये लोग हमारे प्रेरणा स्रोत हैं। हमने कभी आईआईटी में पढ़ाई नहीं की, आईआईटी की तैयारी जरूर की थी, लेकिन मैं आईआईटी क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाया था, और आज मुझे बहुत ज्यादा खुशी है कि मैं एज ए स्टूडेंट नहीं, मैं आईआईटी के सुपर पावर के साथ बैठता हूँ, टॉक देता हूँ और उनसे सीखने का प्रयास करता हूँ, और निर्विरत सीखता रहूंगा। इसके लिए सर बहुत बहुत आपका थैंक्स है, और हम लोग जल्द ही एक और भी इवेंट रखेंगे, और हम चाहेंगे कि आप उसमें आईसीआर आईवीआर जो है सपोर्ट करें।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, हम रेडी हैं, और हमने कल ही आपके इसको बात किया, अपने यहाँ वर्की डायरेक्टर से भी डिस्कस किया। तो
जी।
देखते हैं कि अपने इंस्टीट्यूट से यदि स्टूडेंट के लेवल पर सरकारी रूप से हम लोग देते हैं, जैसे किचन गार्डन कुछ बनाना हो या इस तरह की बनानी चीजें हैं, क्योंकि उनकी लिवलीहुड और फूड सिक्योरिटी को भी हमको ध्यान देने की जरूरत है। क्योंकि जिस तरह का हमने पहले फोटो देख रहा था, उस तरह से लगा कि इन बच्चों को थोड़ा सा न्यूट्रिशनल इन टर्म ऑफ द वेजिटेबल को दिया जाए तो ये और बच्चे हमारे आगे निकल सकते हैं। तो इस लेवल पर भी हम लोग यदि थोड़ा सा करेंगे, ठीक है, उनके पास लैंड नहीं है, दे आर लैंडलेस, लेकिन कहीं दूसरे की भी लैंड लेकर के यदि उनके पास श्रम करने की ताकत है, तो हम उनको जो होते हैं यदि वेजिटेबल प्रोवाइड करा लेकर, और जो सरप्लस वेजिटेबल है उसको बेच करके अपने आत्मनिर्भर बन सकते हैं। और ये भी हमको इस संस्था के माध्यम से इन बच्चों के अंदर एक प्रेरणा और ट्रेनिंग लाने की जरूरत है। एक चीज और मैं भूल गया सर, प्रोफेसर भगवती प्रसाद शर्मा जी का मैं भी लेक्चर सुना था।
अच्छा जी।
मेरे लाइफ में पहला लेक्चर था जो कि इस तरह का मुझे मिला था। मैंने अपने बच्चों से कहा कि देखो, ओल्ड इज ऑलवेज गोल्ड। तो ये लगा कि नहीं, डॉक्टर साहब के लेक्चर के बारे में तो सुनने के बाद लगा कि नहीं, अभी और भी हम लोगों को मेहनत करना चाहिए उस तरह के, इस तरह के फ्रंट पर इस तरह की चीजों को बोलने के लिए। तो काफी चीजें मेरे इनॉग्रेशन सेशन में मुझे एक तरह से मैं तो सीखा भी, आप लोगों के माध्यम से एक एज ए ट्रेनर के रूप में मैं स्टिल अटेंड किया था, न कि मैं एज ए स्पीकर के रूप में था। इसलिए जब भी आप लोग अपने मंच पर हमको बुलाइए तो एज ए मुझे ट्रेनर के रूप में रखिए, मैं ताकि मैं भी सीखूं और आगे चीजों में भी इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकूं। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर फॉर गिविंग मी अपॉर्चुनिटी।
हमारे एक मिनट डॉक्टर साहब, एक मिनट, हमारे कलीग प्रोफेसर जी.एन. तिवारी wants to say something.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I am eagerly to listen, sir, your voice.
Raj sahab, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, I just want to say one thing
जी
that in your area.
एक सर एक चीज मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप मुझे सर मत कहिए सर।
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं सर, मतलब तो महाशय
नहीं सर, मुझे सर मत कहिए।
इस स्टेज में आ गए हैं।
नहीं सर, मैं
अच्छा चलिए, कोई बात नहीं, चलिए मैं दोस्त कर लेता हूँ जो है।
हाँ जी सर।
The conference which is going to be held here presently, it's just a passive building, and in this building we have integrated the greenhouse concept for the food processing, and we got a project when I was in IIT Delhi from the Ministry of Food Processing. Okay, sir. But also we have the distillation system, and we can also here use for the growth of the vegetable on the roof to the pot cultivation. Okay, sir. So since you are in a Banaras, and if you can come for a couple of minutes here, so I have already shown to the Veerbhadra Singh how it works. It produces electricity, and it also can be used for the cultivation and drying. Here there are many things, medicinal plant people have talked in this lecture. So for medicinal plant, if you dry and make a powder and making the packing and other things and selling in the brand name of all this society, I think commercial angle should be also taken, because people are talking about the marketing. If you are doing very good things, no problem. But there is no market, it is useless. So since this we are approaching to the age where we don't know when we'll go out of this world.
Okay,
So before that, we want to transfer all the knowledge and what the structure we have developed can be used for the people. So here, and the request is that here, if you have a program any type, in
Okay, sir.
collaboration of the training center, training the people in the food processing, cultivation, I think you help, you can say this Divi and other, Rasa here, myself here. So if you have a time, if you can visit, then you can see what we have done here and how it can be utilized for the future.
Sunday
this is my-
and sir, Sunday and second Saturday, I am always free, and for this is all for the social work. So I am ready to give, and when I will give, when I will come, I shall give you the seed for the vertical farming. You are
Dr.
talking about the vertical
Dr.
farming.
Jagdish Rai and the Veer Bhadra Singh will show you because I
Please.
can meet tomorrow. And another thing is that Indian Institute of Sugar Cane Research Institute,
Okay,
my
sir.
two students, Anwar Saab and the Ali Singh,
हाँ,
they did, you can say, PhD with me.
okay,
And
sir.
we have make a cube of the jaggery and
Jaggery,
drying
हाँ.
the jaggery
Hmm.
for the packaging purpose, which we can do here also.
Hmm.
And another thing is that in the future, if we can have a international conference in collaboration with you, try to get the fund from the ICR, because to get the fund from ICR
Yes,
to the
sir.
ICR people is easier than what we can get directly.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So these things, I request Bhadra Singh Jagdish Rai ji, because they are in Banaras. I am in Balia. I am doing something Balia.
डॉक्टर
Right
साहब,
now.
बनारस से बलिया जाने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं, अब तो इतना बढ़िया रोड हो गया है कि
इसीलिए मैं आ गया हूँ।
जी
अब तो
सर,
मैंने 3 घंटे में हम लोग आ जाते हैं जो है।
जी 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 सर,
तो इसलिए क्या है कि इसी चीज को बलिया में भी हमने जो है barren land पर जो है
जी
how
जी,
part cultivation can be done for the many vegetables
वेरी
we have
गुड,
done in the for summer crop, we have done in the winter crop.
वेरी गुड
So all these things we have done it, we are having there also, here also. So we have the facility, and the facility should be utilized by your organization for benefits of us and both.
ओके सर,
Thank
मैं
you very
आऊंगा, मैं आऊंगा क्योंकि डॉक्टर
हाँ।
साहब हमेशा आपकी चर्चा करते रहते थे, हमेशा
Right.
डॉक्टर साहब ने कई बार आपके नाम के प्रोफेसर जीएन तिवारी
Right,
साहब
right.
वहाँ अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, और आई एम वेरी एंड यू आर इंस्पायरिंग वी पीपुल, क्योंकि
Thank you.
यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम ए मॉडल फॉर द ईस्टर्न यूपी, तो इसमें हमको आई शैल
सर
फील
देखिए,
हैप्पी, आई शैल
सर
फील
देखिए,
हैप्पी टू वर्क विथ
I
यू,
am
नो प्रॉब्लम सर.
myself and Jagdish Raji both shifted in the eastern part to give as maximum education as possible in our field. I cannot claim that I am physicist because I have left 40 years back, but I am using physics for the solar energy application.
डॉक्टर साहब, ईस्टर्न यूपी की सेवा के लिए मैं तो कहीं अप्लाई भी नहीं करता हायर पोस्ट के लिए, मैं डायरेक्टर
बहुत
के लिए
अच्छा
नहीं
करते
करना,
हैं,
आई शैल
बहुत
सर्व
अच्छा
इन
करते
ईस्टर्न
हैं।
यूपी, क्योंकि सर मैं
But we are unfortunate to get the job in the eastern UP, even in the degree college.
यस
Right? No, I know. We have got, even we are not able to get in the intermediate college. But
जी,
our
जी,
history was with IIT Delhi, IIT Roorkee, is how we can get here. So we don't have any regrets for past, but we have come, returned back. Zero
ओके
start.
सर, ओके सर, ओके सर, जितना भी हेल्प हो सकता है मैं सर पूरी टेक्नोलॉजी पूरी दम लगा दूंगा उसको डेवलप करने के लिए. ओके सर,
Thank you, sir.
विद
Yes.
दीज वर्ड्स बस आपकी ब्लेसिंग रहनी चाहिए.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. On the coming second Saturday, we will request you to come here to our center
ओके सर, आई
that we call Burst Bag Energy Research Society Center.
Okay, sir. I shall visit. No problem. Second Saturday, I shall try to free, sir. Okay.
So, I thank you very much for giving such a nice talk, telling us about the history of agricultural development in India and other places. Thank you, sir. Very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir.
Our next speaker is Dr. Amit Joshi. He will speak on modern immune information dependence vaccine development against viral pathogens. So, Dr. Joshi, please.
First of all,
Dr. Amit
Morning, all of
Joshi
you.
is currently serving as assistant professor at Invertis University, Bareilly. He holds BFSc and MSc and PhD in biochemistry from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology. Sir is decorated with achievements in industrial training in value addition and canning from CIFT coaching Kerala. He has published many research papers in reputed journals. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for brief introduction. Am I audible? Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is very new topic actually, and I'm sharing my presentation. So good morning, all of you. Here I am telling you about the immunoinformatics. Actually, this immunoinformatics is a part of bioinformatics, and the title was actually which I tried to summarize because there are so many viral pathogens, and at this platform I want to give a general idea so that younger scholars can understand what actually this immunoinformatics means and how this is very useful for the development of vaccine against such kind of pathogens. So here what I am particularly going to tell you is that about immunoinformatics. And actually in this immunoinformatics, we basically use the computational tools, and these tools are used to collect and analyze the information of immune system. And this immune system have so many type of uh, say cells and organs that are involved here. So, but at the cellular level, we all know that there are either the innate immunity or the adaptive immunity, and to we can say to elicit the immune response against any kind of pathogen, we need a uh, specific type of vaccine candidates that can bind to the our immunogenic cells like T cells or B cells to promote the immunogenic responses against that particular virus. So in a brief, we can say it is a set of bioinformatic tools designed to aid in vaccine discovery. Because we know that the drug discovery and vaccine discovery, these type of uh, medical applications involved in medical applications, and these type of technology involves a very much amount of money and time. So and or at least there are so many kind of failures also associated with this type of discoveries. So what the purpose of immunoinformatics? The purpose is that it allows us to predict the vaccines before the actual wet lab testing. So what we do here, um, we basically uh, search for the protein molecules that are present in the viral system, and that protein we are going to explore to find out a smaller component from that protein, and we call that as epitope. So most of the immunological epitopes to elicit the immune response in an organism, and for that it is basically uh, interacting with the MHC proteins and so many other systems. But how this idea actually comes? So this idea actually arrived in the mind of this guy. He's Rino Rapoli. He was working in the this type of technologies, immunoinformatic technologies, which we called as reverse vaccinology. And what is this reverse vaccinology? It is the thing is that we are actually working with the epitopes, and we are eliciting the immune response in a very general. So he actually took the bacterium, which is Meningococcus, and it is one of his famous paper which was published in vaccine. So let us talk about the vaccine immunoinformatics or vaccine informatics. So we have to deal here with the adaptive immunity and innate immunity. So we know that most of the what are the pathogens actually? Here are disease-causing agents. There are fungi. There are lot of viruses, parasites, and post-immune defense system particularly attack these organisms in a two-way. One is the innate immunity, and another is the adaptive immunity. So innate is a primary defense, while we observe that in case of the acquired or this adaptive immunity, there are B and T cells that are generated, and they are responsible for two type of responses. One is humoral, and another is cell-mediated. In humoral immunity, B lymphocytes are produced, while in cell-mediated T lymphocytes are produced. तो हम सिंपल शब्दों में ये समझ सकते हैं कि जो बी लिम्फोसाइट्स हैं वो एंटीबॉडीज प्रोड्यूस करती हैं, और जो टी लिम्फोसाइट्स हैं वो स्पेसिफिकली डायरेक्टली किलिंग पे इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, जो भी आपके पैथोजेंस आपकी बॉडी में एंटर कर रहे हैं उसको डायरेक्टली किल करने का काम करते हैं। तो ये जो टी लिम्फोसाइट्स है इसको भी आप दो कैटेगरीज में बांट सकते हैं। वन इज साइटोटॉक्सिक टी लिम्फोसाइट्स एंड अनदर इज दी टी हेल्पर लिम्फोसाइट्स। और इसको और साधारण तरीके से ले लें तो जो CTL है वो साइटोटॉक्सिक है, इसका मतलब वो जो भी पैथोजेंस आएंगे उनको डायरेक्टली गल्फ करके डैमेज करेगा। और जो टी हेल्पर सेल्स हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं मेमोरी बनाने में इन्वॉल्व करते हैं, और मेमोरी इन द केस दे आर एक्चुअली एक्टिवेटिंग दी बी सेल्स। तो टी हेल्पर सेल, जैसे हमें बचपन में कोई रोग हो जाता है, वायरस डिजीज है, और हम उसकी दवाइयाँ लेते हैं और समय पे वो ठीक होता है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं हमारे अंदर भी एक प्रोसेस चल रहा है, इम्यूनोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस, और हमारे अंदर जो है उसके अगेंस्ट जो एंटीबॉडीज बनी है उसकी जानकारी कहीं ना कहीं स्टोर हो जा रही है, और वो स्टोर करने का काम कर रही है टी हेल्पर सेल्स। सो दीज टी हेल्पर सेल्स आर आल्सो रिफर्ड एज द मेमोरी सेल्स हियर। इनके अब इन सेल्स के सरफेस पर ऐसे प्रोटीन्स हैं जिनको हम कहते हैं मेजर हिस्टोकम्पैटिबिलिटी कॉम्प्लेक्सेस या MHC प्रोटीन्स। तो ये टी लिम्फोसाइट्स जो है, जैसे अगर हम CTL की बात करें, साइटोटॉक्सिक टी लिम्फोसाइट, in its surface there is MHC1 binders, MHC1 molecules, while in T helper lymphocytes we have the MHC2 binders. So actually when we are determining some kind of epitope or some protein component from the viral colony, that has to be antigenic in nature, that has to be we can say that has to be of a particular size. So mostly the vaccines or these peptide vaccines or protein vaccines which we are designing are actually basically of the 400 to 600 amino acids. So what happened here? This is the slide which I took from the GPS Raghava sir, and he has worked on this immunoinformatics field. We can say he's kind of pioneer in India. And what happens when we see the very basic phenomena here?
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, your slide is not working. Sir, it is on
Slide
one
is-
page. Yes, sir.
It's not working actually.
आपकी स्लाइड एकदम स्टेबल है। हाँ, अब ठीक है। नाउ इट इज गोइंग ऑन।
Okay, I think there is some issue when I am making it in a full screen, then it is showing at one page actually. So I can continue in this way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
So I was telling you about this host immune defense system, and this slide I have taken from the repository of GPS Raghava sir. He is working in this particular field of immunoinformatics from long time in India. But we see here that these T lymphocytes, T cells, are divided in two categories. One is cytotoxic T cells and another is T helper cells. And I already told that these T helper cells have MHC2 molecules in their surface, while the cytotoxic T lymphocytes have MHC1 molecules in their surface. They have a slight structural difference, these MHC molecules. And what we observe here, that in this latest technology, we have to think before that, actually, how these technology is derived. So this next slide, which I am presenting here, is showing that this MHC2 complex is actually presenting an epitope. So these are these small molecules which actually binds to this MHC molecule and uh, and actually represents to the B cells so that they can produce a specific antibody and they can cluster the pathogen which is coming inside the body so that these cytotoxic cells can engulf them, macrophages can engulf them. So in a normal way, we can say that there are so many monocytes and macrophages, these type of natural killer cells. They are involved specifically in the killing of the pathogens which are entering in our body. But if we have a specific information of the pathogenic determinants, which are actually epitopes, so we can easily uh, elicit the immune response in our body. So here what we observe, there are two pathways. One is the exogenous pathway and another is the endogenous pathway. And at each level, we can see that by using the uh, computers, we can using the latest artificial intelligence technologies, we can easily determine that our protein, our viral protein sequences have such kind of component that can easily interact with the MHC complexes and elicit the responses. So this was some of the brief about this. Okay, so many tools are actually made, so many databases are created by analyzing the virus proteomes and virus genomes. So after this, we have lot of data actually. So that data has to be utilized in a sum. So we have created so many tools that actually help in determining these type of small particles from the small components from the protein structure. There is one very famous tool which is known as ABC spread. So this ABC spread is actually used for predicting B cell epitopes. So again, epitope क्या है? एक वायरस में कुछ प्रोटीन्स हैं और कुछ जेनेटिक मटेरियल है. तो उस प्रोटीन का कुछ भाग है जिसका काम है कि हमारे शरीर में जाकर किसी तरीके से इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स को प्रोड्यूस करना है. तो यहाँ एबीसी प्रेड हमें बी सेल के साथ इंटरेक्ट करने वाले एपिटोप्स को फाइंड करने में मदद करता है. सिमिलरली यहाँ पे सीटीएल प्रेड है जो टी सेल सीटीएल यानी साइटोटॉक्सिक टी लिम्फोसाइट्स के लिए हमें एपिटोप्स फाइंड करने में मदद करता है सीटीएल प्रेड. और आजकल नेट एमएचसी, पैन सर्वर, नेट एमएचसी प्रेड, देयर आर सो मेनी अदर artificial intelligence based servers are present. We have to just submit the viral sequences, their protein sequences, and we can find out that actually what is the binding efficiency and towards these kind of MHC proteins. So this is these are some of the databases here listed. This I took from the Frontier to uh, to briefly explain that what actually happening here. So when we consider any kind of non-structural protein or structural protein, वायरस के स्ट्रक्चर ये बीच में दे रखा है, इसमें बाहर से आपके पास प्रोटीन्स लगे हुए हैं जो इसके स्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण कर रहे हैं, तो हम उसको कहते हैं स्ट्रक्चरल प्रोटीन. और कुछ इसमें एंजाइम्स का काम कर रहे हैं, वो नॉन स्ट्रक्चरल प्रोटीन्स होते हैं. और बीच में ये हमें डीएनए दिखाई दे रहा है. हो सकता है आरएनए, क्योंकि वायरस आरएनए बेस्ड भी होते हैं और डीएनए बेस्ड भी होते हैं. तो this particular structure of the virus is having these two major components. One is protein and another is its genetic component, or which is the DNA. So this protein can be analyzed for epitopes. So what we have to do, most of the time if we do a genomic sequencing approaches, तो सीक्वेंसिंग से हम जीनोम की पूरी सीक्वेंस पता लगा लेते हैं वायरस की, और उसमें कौन कौन से प्रोटीन्स एक्टिव है उसके लिए हम डिफरेंशियल एक्सप्रेशन जीन एनालिसिस कर लेते हैं. बट ये है कि अगर हम डायरेक्टली इन प्रोटीन्स की सीक्वेंसेस, इफ इट इज अवेलेबल इन एनसीबीआई जैसे डेटाबेसेस हैं जो हमारे पास, जो यूएस एनआईएच के अंदर आते हैं, तो वहाँ इनमें से हम डायरेक्टली सीक्वेंस को रिट्राइव कर सकते हैं. एंड आफ्टर रिट्राइवल ऑफ दैट सीक्वेंसेस वी कैन गो फॉर any algorithm based like artificial neural networks or artificial intelligence. These type of tools are freely available already I had showed you the databases, which is one of the bread APC, bread and NetMHC bread. So these type of databases can be used to feed our retrieved sequence into them, and they can easily analyze that which component of that particular protein sequence, उस sequence का जो वायरस की प्रोटीन का बाहर से बनावट है, जिसे हम कैप्सिड भी कह रहे हैं, उसमें से वो हिस्सों को डिटरमाइन करने में मदद करेगा जो आसानी से एमएचसी प्रोटीन के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या साधारण शब्दों में समझे तो टी सेल के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं, ताकि वो कहीं ना कहीं इम्यून रिस्पॉन्सेस जनरेट कर सकें। तो इसमें जो है इस तरीके से हम यहाँ पे पहले दिखा रखा है इसमें कि रिट्राइवल किया गया प्रोटीन सीक्वेंसेस का, उसके बाद जो है देखा गया कि ये एंटीजेनिक है। एंटीजेनिक का अर्थ यहाँ पे हो गया कि ये एंटीजन वाली प्रॉपर्टी रखते हैं फॉरेन पार्टिकल्स की। और तीसरा यहाँ पे ये है कि इसमें से हमने एपिटोप्स प्रेडिक्ट कर लिए, फिर हम उसका एक वैक्सीन कंस्ट्रक्ट बना रहे हैं। ये एपिटोप्स मोस्टली 9 से 15 तक अमीनो एसिड के हमें मिलते हैं, तो हमें एक फुल फ्लेश्ड वैक्सीन बनानी है। उसका साइज कम से कम 400 से 700 अमीनो एसिड के बीच में होना जरूरी है। तो फुल फ्लेश बनाने के लिए हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि कुछ एपिटोप्स सी सेल के सी लिम्फोसाइट के बना लिए, कुछ हमने हेल्पर टी लिम्फोसाइट्स के बना लिए, एंड कुछ हमने बी लिम्फोसाइट्स के ले लिए। इनको आपस में लिंक कर दिया छोटे छोटे लिंकर पेप्टाइड से, तो एक ये पूरा एक इसका साइज भी डेवलप हो जाता है। और मोस्टली हम इसमें जो एडजुवेंट्स यूज करते हैं, एडजुवेंट एक नया टर्म है। एडजुवेंट का अर्थ यहाँ पे ये हुआ कि हम लोग कुछ ऐसे कंपोनेंट, ऐसे नॉन प्रोटीन्स यूज कर रहे हैं जिनकी हमें पहले से ही जानकारी है कि ये कहीं ना कहीं आपके टोल लाइक रिसेप्टर्स होते हैं जो इंटरनलाइजेशन यानी सेल के अंदर पहुंचाने में वैक्सीन को मदद करते हैं, तो के साथ ही इंटरेक्ट करते हैं। तो हम ऐसे कंपोनेंट्स को भी इसमें ऐड कर लेते हैं, एडजुवेंट्स को, जो कहीं ना कहीं वैक्सीन की एफिशिएंसी को और ज्यादा बढ़ा देते हैं। तो ये सब हम लोग एक तरीके से करते हैं और उस एक पूरे सिस्टमेटिक वे में कर रहे हैं। और उसके बाद फाइनली हम लोग इसमें क्या करते हैं कि स्ट्रक्चर को अब इसके प्रेडिक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं। अब स्ट्रक्चर प्रेडिक्ट करने के भी बहुत तरीके हैं, जैसे हम लोग या तो होमोलॉजी मॉडलिंग का सहारा लेते हैं, या फिर हम लोग जो है इसमें स्पेसिफिकली हम देखते हैं कि हम लोग हिडन मार्कोव मॉडल्स वाले जो आपके डिस्ट्रिक्ट डिटरमिनेंट्स है, उसके आधार पे हम लोग देखते हैं कहाँ पे कौन अमीनो एसिड जो है बीटा सीड का लेंगे, कौन अमीनो एसिड्स जो है आपके हेलिसिस का रूप लेंगे। तो इस तरीके से हमें इसके स्ट्रक्चर की जानकारी मिलती है। और फिर फाइनली ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है इसको हम एक फाइल में सेव करते हैं, जिसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स पीडी फाइल के नाम से जाने जाते हैं। तो जब ये स्ट्रक्चर हमारा मिल जाता है, हम लोग एमएचसी का स्ट्रक्चर हमारे पास ऑलरेडी डेटाबेसेस में अवेलेबल होता है, जो कि एक्सरे क्रिस्टलोग्राफी से मिला होता है, और फिर हम इन दोनों को आपस में मॉलिक्यूलर डॉकिंग की सहायता से इंटरेक्ट करते हैं। और फिर जो है हम लोग इसके लिए इन सिलिको क्लोनिंग कर सकते हैं कि किस तरीके का क्लोन जीन बनाए जिसको हम बैक्टीरिया में डाल के इस प्रोटीन को सिंथेसाइज करें। तो जब ये वैक्सीन हमारी पेप्टाइड वैक्सीन सिंथेसाइज हो जाती है, इसको हम जो है फिर इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं माउस मॉडल्स में, या फिर हम लोग इसको एनिमल सेल लाइन में भी चेक कर सकते हैं कि कितना इफेक्टिव है हमारी वैक्सीन। तो एक तरीके से मतलब हम लोग इसको प्राइमरी वे में जो इन सिलिको ने काम किया, उसको हमने इन विट्रो और इन विट्रो की तरफ डायरेक्ट कर दिया। तो अल्टीमेटली कि इसको चेक करना है तो इसकी काफी टेस्टिंग्स होती है, फिर फेजेस में जाता है, और फिर फाइनली वैक्सीन डिजाइन। इसी को फ्लो चार्ट के माध्यम से भी हम समझ सकते हैं। ये टीचर से मैंने लिया था, तो इसमें एपिस्टीन बार वायरस के कुछ प्रोटीन्स के नाम है G8, G1, G8, और इनको इन सीक्वेंसेस को रिट्राइव करके इनसे फिर 20 सेल एपिटोप्स निकाले गए, और इन एपिटोप्स को टी सेल के बी सेल और टी सेल एपिटोप्स निकालने के बाद इन्होंने अलग अलग सर्वर यूज किए हैं। जैसे बी सेल के लिए इन्होंने एलीप्रो डेटाबेस यूज किया, और टी सेल के एपिटोप्स को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए नेट सीटीएल सर्वर यूज किया है। ये डॉचिनोवा का सर्वर है, काफी इन्होंने भी के मतलब सर्वर सबसे ज्यादा साइट को ये सबसे बेस्ट सर्वर्स में गिने जाते हैं, नेट सीटीएल, नेट एमएचसी, पेप्टाइड्स 3D, फिर इसका स्ट्रक्चर निकाला गया, और फिर एमएचसी के साथ मॉलिक्यूलर डॉकिंग करी गई। मॉलिक्यूलर डॉक्स आपस में बाइंड करेंगे और क्या हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड बनाएंगे एक दूसरे के साथ, किस तरीके का डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड होगा, किस तरीके का आपस में इंटरेक्शन होगा, इस चीज को यहाँ पे पता लगा। फिर ये बेसिक फिजियोलॉजिकल आप चीजें इसमें कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, जिसके लिए परम करके अवेलेबल होता है, जिसमें हम लोग बता सकते हैं क्या हाफ लाइफ होगी इसकी जो वैक्सीन हमने क्रिएट करी है, और ये किस तरीके से जो है पल्स में जो है इम्यूनिटी को इंड्यूस करेगा। तो ये सब चीजें हम पहले से भी, जैसे IFN गामा सर्वर है, उसमें हम पता कर सकते हैं कि इंटरफेरेंस गामा प्रोड्यूस होंगे नहीं होंगे जब हम वैक्सीन पल्स में लगाएंगे। तो ये सारी चीजें हमें यहाँ से पता लगता है। और जैसे कुछ मेरे इसमें पब्लिकेशंस मैंने किए थे, जैसे एक मेरा सार्स CoV का पब्लिकेशन था जो इंफॉर्मेटिक्स इन मेडिसिन एंड हुआ था। इसमें मैंने सार्स CoV-2 के लिए उसके जो मेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन्स हैं उससे मैंने जो है यहाँ पे एपिटोप्स डिटरमाइन करके उससे वैक्सीन का कंस्ट्रक्ट फॉर्म किया था। फिर टेलर फ्रांसिस में एक मॉलिक्यूलर सिमुलेशन जर्नल है, उसमें हम लोगों ने डॉकिंग करने के बाद सिमुलेशन भी किया। अब ये एक नई चीज आ गई है कि हम लोग कंप्यूटर ही डायरेक्टली सिमुलेट कर लेते हैं, सेलुलर एनवायरनमेंट बना के फूड फील्ड क्रिएट करके, कि जैसे ही हमने जो भी सेल का पूरा एनवायरनमेंट यहाँ क्रिएट किया उसमें हमने वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स ऐड करें और हमने अपने डॉक्ड कॉम्प्लेक्स जो था जिस पर वैक्सीन हमारी टी सेल के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर रही थी उसके पूरे स्ट्रक्चर को वहाँ पे हमने डाउन अपलोड कर दिया। तो उससे क्या होगा कि हम लोग ये रिस्पॉन्सेस चेक कर सकते हैं किस तरीके का पोटेंशियल एनर्जी है, किस तरीके से जो है फर्दर यहाँ पे, मतलब आप एक तरीके से कंप्यूटर पे सिमुलेट कर दे रहे हैं उस चीज को। मॉलिक्यूलर सिमुलेशन इज अ काइंड ऑफ biophysics we call it, so it is a part of biophysics subject. So nowadays this is also speed. Another thing is that then again we have published one more paper taking some other non-structural proteins and here this is the vaccine I have created for the dengue peptide also with Dr. Sunil Krishnan, and with Dr. Nahid Akhtar I have created vaccine against the fungus, and we have published this in micropathogenesis. We have also made the vaccine against the people disease, and this is one of the good work I was doing my PhD actually. So here I was targeting a Truforma with the bacteria, and nature is the nature there. So I want to show you some paper sharing. Sharing. So this was the paper Journal of Molecular Liquid, and here we have actually predicted the vaccine against the human cytomegalovirus vaccine virus के against करी हमने human cytomegalovirus. This is published in Journal of Molecular Liquids. It's a very heavy. What we have done here, the specific. I want to show just 3 figures here. I will take this time. So in this, what we have done, first of all, we have done the proteins analysis for this particular virus, and then we have checked the tools I have written in here, Vaccegen, NetMHC. Vaccegen is a tool which is used for antigenicity analysis, and NetMHC server for epitopes prediction. Then I have done the structural analysis for these epitopes, and then again molecular docking, and then we have conducted a very good molecular simulation, and we have made some of the plots also. So I must show you the simulation part. Actually, this is the docking structure. So here we can actually see the length also. When we are docking our vaccine with the T cell receptors or say MHC receptors. So here what we are think we can also easily observe that what was the bond length for these type of hydrogen bonds, and what are the actual components. We can also use the Divi, it is called the tool, which is present in EMBL, European Molecular Biology Lab. Is there for conducting this type of analysis. Also, you can see the core idea of the vaccine. What we have done here, we have added the Salmonella flagellin. This protein is specifically binding or activating to the toll-like receptors, and it will help in internalization of our vaccine. And these are L is indicating the linkers. We have also used the Padre sequence. It is a kind of small sequence which is just used for the joining of the epitopes. And the two core epitopes we have considered E1 and E2 after further analysis. And these two epitopes were taken from the virus structural proteins. And we have also calculated the Ramachandran plot for that to analyze G. N. Ramachandran, the great scientist here, to analyze the structures of our proteins. For the complexes also we can use them. For stability actually it is used. And if we look for the RMSD plot here, this root mean square division plot is there at the position. And these are the complexes. One is the TLR receptor TLR5, and this is our vaccine. This gray color thing is our vaccine, and this red color structure is TLR. So they are interacting here, and this RMSD plot is indicating that there is a very less change of around 0.6 angstrom. So it means they are binding with a very good efficiency. So this type of simulation results help us analyzing that actually the epitope-based vaccines are either binding successfully or they are not binding successfully. So this is also thing which we get from this particular analysis. There are so many PCI plots and all these things. We can do in silico cloning, and in silico cloning, what we have done that जो वैक्सीन जो हमने बनाई है उसको हमें किसी तरीके से प्रोड्यूस करना है वेट लैब में। तो उसके लिए हम लोग पहले से एक क्लोन जीन उसका तैयार करेंगे। इसके लिए JCAT सर्वर होता है। JCAT सर्वर पे आप अपनी प्रोटीन जो अपने वैक्सीन की है उस सीक्वेंस को वहां अपलोड करते हैं और you would be getting the DNA for that, and that DNA has to be actually inserted in specific plasmid, and we can create this. I have used here 28A plasmid for this cytomegalovirus, and so this is the basic thing. We can create this thing, and finally, I want to make presentation. Okay, so here the what is the extension actually? इसके बाद हम क्या कर सकते हैं? जैसे इन सिलिको वर्क किया तो हम लोग इसको चेक कर सकते हैं इन वैक्सीन्स को सिंथेसाइज करा के। सॉलिड फेज सिंथेसाइजिंग है, लिक्विड फेज सिंथेसाइजिंग है, देयर आर सो मेनी अप्रोचेस। और डायरेक्ट क्लोनिंग से भी हम सिंथेसाइज कर सकते हैं। और फाइनली मैंने एक मछलियों में वायरस होता है नर्वस नेक्रोसिस वायरस, उसको हमने सिंथेसाइज करके हमने सेल लाइंस में उसकी चेक किया था। तो उसके लिए वी हैव पुट अप प्लेस अ पेटेंट आल्सो दैट गॉट पब्लिश्ड, and also we have done same approach against the dengue also. So we have published for dengue also. We have done this particular work. Also, more patents are being done on the canine circovirus, which affects the dog population. With the Dr. Pankaj Jain and Deputy Karnak, we are working together with this canine circovirus also. So these type of vaccines are very novel and have very less, we can say, problems associated with that. That's why people are moving towards the peptide vaccines nowadays. A lot of research is going on this field, which is the immunoinformatics. So thank you all of you.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you very much for such a nice talk. I think we have not met yet.
Yes,
हमारी
sir.
आपकी भी मुलाकात नहीं हुई है।
मुलाकात नहीं हो पाई सर, बस आज ही दर्शन।
And your department, the Department of Biotechnology, according to me, is the best department at Inverness University. And you are the man of virology. And there is a lot of scope in biotechnology. And of course, in virology also, a lot of scope of research is there and further development. And I'm sure you and Sasank Upadhyay will work together for the betterment of the department and for the betterment of the country.
तो
So,
सर आशीर्वाद
I thank you.
चाहिए बच्चा।
Thank you very much.
Pranam, sir.
Now, the next speaker is Professor G.N. Tiwari. So I request you, sir, to come forward and take the mic.
First, good morning to all of you. And then I'll thank Professor Jagdish Rai, who has introduced me Birbhadra Singh, Divi Welfare Society. And it is my belief that like-minded people, like-minded society should come together. And if you can remember that a farmer has 5 sons, they were fighting each other, which is happening nowadays very frequently. Then he did an experiment. He took a 10 stick, and he has given 5 sticks to each one, and asked them to blow, and everyone broke. Then he together make 5 sticks together, then asked everyone to break it. They were not able to break it. Then his children understood that there is a strength in the unity. But I am adding like-minded. Why? Because in a pond, if there is one fish bad, this fish can make every fish bad. So this is my perceptions, and I hope that Professor Jagdish Rai, myself, Yashwant Singh and Dinesh Singh, when they are doing PhD, we are having the same principle also. Many senior research scholars, junior research scholars try to make a fighting between us, but they were not successful. And because of that, he has done very good work in the physics area. But when I joined IIT Delhi, Professor Sodha, my mentor, which is for Guruji, and his birthday comes every year at 8 February, and I am celebrating his birthday for the last 25 years, every year, whether it's Baliya, BHU, IIT, and Jamia Millia. And he said he was working in the plasma physics. I did my PhD in plasma physics. Then he said one word, Tiwari ji, in plasma, much work has been done. But if you want to do work in a solar energy, it is a very bright future in the country. I don't know what was in his mind, but I grabbed his point, and whatever modeling we have done, we have applied for solar energy. And for science and technology, the topic is ancient science, technology, and civilization. I'm trying to integrate all these things within 15 minutes. I'll not take much time. I'll not discuss about my work, because my work is already published, 650 research paper, many PhD, many things. So I don't want to repeat the same thing. Now, people have given lecture. The day one afternoon I am listening till now. But there is one thing confirmed. First slide, you cannot. Without sun, nothing is possible on the planet. There are many planets, but for us, only the sun and earth is important. Yes, after that, moon is also important. I will not talk of the moon, because all the living organisms on the planet Earth, जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं 84 लाख जोन है, and each zone has its own number. So at the end, I will prove that the law of conservation of number of species plus its population. That is my whole theme of my lecture. So now the section which I have divided to speak on sun, atmosphere. After the sun, atmosphere comes. Atmospheric physics is different. What Professor Rao has done it. Their magnetic field, electric field, this and that goes. But for us, it is consists of many gases which has come from within the earth. So atmosphere comes first, then after the earth comes. So, and between the atmosphere and earth, environment and ecology. Then formation of algae, first living organism which was created on the planet Earth is the algae. How it has come? I will tell you. Then creation of living organisms. Living organisms, many. For human being, there are many types of the humans. African is different kind. Europe is different kind. We are different kind. So there are only three colors: white, black, and brown. We are in between. And the brown people who are having in between, supposed to be the happiest person on the planet Earth. It is the survey of the United Nations, not myself. Best people. Then, how human being can survive? That is also important. So next. It is a man turn to harness this unlimited, clean and eco-friendly energy. There are two types of energy in a literal way, meaning and spelling. One is a renewable energy, one is a non-renewable. Renewable energy is above the earth, like sun. All the renewable energy exists outside the earth. But non-renewable energy, all non-renewable energy exist within the earth, like coal, petroleum, natural gas. देखिए बहुत सुंदर फिनोमेना इसमें है, मतलब कि जो ऊपर रहता है वही बिक्री होता है. In examination event, who gives top numbers, topper. So because of that, renewable energy is always much better than the non-renewable, which is a fossil fuel. And renewable energy has no limitation. It is an unlimited source of energy. For example, when I was giving the lecture, one student asked me, "Sir, what is the life of the sun?" I said, if there is no sun, you cannot ask me question. Till sun exists, you are asking your limit making questions. But when sun is not there, तुम पूछोगे ना मैं बताऊंगा. So it has limit. देखिए, infinite world. There was one of our common friends, P. Shukla, who was did PhD in Professor RNC, went Germany, did again PhD. He was giving a lecture. So he was talking of a velocity of light. He said it is infinite. Infinite is a relative term. If you are talking 0.1, 1 crore can be infinite in comparison one term. So RNC has objected no. Speed of light is not infinite. उस पर झगड़ा हो गया तो हम वहाँ से चुपचाप चल दिए भाई कौन कौन डिस्कस करेंगे. So because of that, the renewable energy has an infinite source of energy, and all the renewable energy only because of the sun. Due to sun, we have the hydropower, rainfall. Due to sun, we have wind energy. Due to sun, we have the biomass. Due to sun, all the renewable energies exist due to the sun. So it is advisable that all the human being who is the intellectual among all the living animals to take care of himself. If you cannot take care of yourself, nobody will take you. So that's why here, and why ecology? Because algae is the first ecological parameter which is created on the planet. Next. अब थोड़ा मतलब मैं आपको ये बैकग्राउंड में स्लाइड नहीं देखूंगा, मैंने उस तरह से मैं बता दूंगा. See, there are three states of the matter: solid, liquid, gas. I think everybody might know. Before creation of the sun, it took 4 to 5 billion years to make a sun. How? All the gases having a different temperature has accumulated, and then आग का गोला जिसको बोलते हैं, आग का गोला कभी कभी बन जाता है, हम देखते हैं, मतलब आग लगती है तो गोला बन जाता है. That is how sun was created. And in that case, all the gas is important part of the sun structure. But the maximum temperature exists at the core of the sun. अब देख कैसे नेचर इसी को बोलते हैं. नेचर कैसे कब क्या लेता है, nobody on earth can really predict. कोई साइंस आज तक प्रिडिक्ट नहीं कर सकता. ये साइंस है. साइंस मतलब ज्ञान. ब्रह्मज जी कह रहे थे कि कॉमर्स होने पर अगर ज्ञान आपके पास है, बुद्धि है, तो साइंस है. इसीलिए सोशल साइंस, फिजिकल साइंस, पता नहीं कितने साइंस जनरेट कर रहे थे. सो दैट इज हाउ द सन वाज क्रिएटेड आफ्टर टेकिंग बिलियन ईयर्स टाइम. आफ्टर दैट solid particles that has accumulated together and formed the earth. And fortunately, the outermost temperature of the sun, which is 6,000 Kelvin, is the innermost temperature of the earth. All parameters which I will give you in a multiple of 3. 5 से 7, जिससे कि याद रहे. 6,000 Kelvin आपको याद रहे. 300 Kelvin याद रहेगा. लेकिन वही 277 Kelvin का सब पता नहीं क्या बोले थे, 200 something बता, but 300 will be clear. So in all my book, I have given all the solar constant in a multiple of 3, so the student can remember. So that is how the sun and earth was created. Now, as I said you, in earth, majority is the solid, majority is the solid part. But जब solid accumulate होते हैं, थोड़ा गैस भी वहां पर आ जाते हैं. Solid कोयला भी होता है, पेट्रोलियम भी होता है. तो there is one theory that is plate techno theory. What it states that the earth crust, अब बहुत ज्यादा crust का मतलब यहाँ पर समुद्र नहीं है, ये मान के चलिए. Crust is divided into different parts. जैसे प्लेट फोड़ दीजिएगा तो क्रैक नहीं हो जाता है, उसी तरह से अर्थ क्रैक होता है. ये थ्योरी है. And gas is very easy pathway to escape to the crack. So all the gases with the atmosphere escape through that crack. And since being a lightweight, it moves upward. And accumulated might be due to gravitational forces between the sun and earth. So it is called atmosphere having the all gases erupted within the earth. So now 3 points is there: sun formation, earth formation, and atmosphere formation. ठीक है? बाकी टेक्निकल नेम देख लीजिएगा. और सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, एट द सेंटर आप मान लीजिए कि हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन तो सभी लोग जानते होंगे. हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन जो है, सन इनर मोस्ट टेम्परेचर इज 10.7 Kelvin, very high temperature. You cannot get temperature more than that. So when two hydrogen molecules fuse, fusion ये सब मिलाते हैं, जैसे चिंगारी नहीं मिलाते हैं, स्पार्किंग करता है मतलब मिलकर है, then what happens? Helium is formed. और हीलियम का मास जो है 2 हाइड्रोजन मॉलिक्यूल से कम है. तो अगर आप लेक्चर में लेकर आए स्टीमेट जैसे these continuous and for kind information, all these interpretation is not true one, it is all completed. Like Alok Srivastava was speaking, electromagnetic waves. Maxwell equation is not derived. It is proposed by Maxwell, and there are very constant changes. Electromagnetic theory is based on the Maxwell equations. I will not refer Maxwell, but I'm telling you that most of the thumbs rule, which was suggested or interpreted by scientists, which was already written in our Yoga and Veda, what Alok Srivastava said, is the basis for the mathematical form. Concept is different thing, but if that concept can be put into the mathematical modeling, it proves what other people have said is correct or wrong. So 90% of the energy is generated at the center of the sun. Now it is a fluid. I think those who are mechanical, they might be knowing convection, radiation, and conduction. Convection takes place in the fluid, conduction takes place in solid, and convection takes place in fluid. Radiation takes place in the air and everything. So by convection, heat is transferred, or energy is transferred from core to outer surface, or temperature drops to 6,000 Kelvin. और यहाँ देखिए, ये Stern-Boltzmann law, black body radiation. What it states that if any object is very hot and surrounding temperature is lower, then it will emit electromagnetic waves having a wavelength from 0 to infinity. That is the law. And with this law, the sun emits the radiation having a wavelength from 0 to infinity. Here is the role of the atmosphere. This is nature creation, not we created. The First, I'll tell you the one of the most important gas in the atmosphere is O3. The role of the O3 and the role of the other gases is reflect or absorb unwanted radiation which is used for the living organisms. अगर एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं है तो हम आप नहीं, कोई चीज नहीं है, हवाई जहाज बना सब खत्म हो जाएगा. That means it only emits the radiation from 0.3 to 3 micrometer. नीचे वाला और ऊपर वाला. Below 0.3 micrometer, above 3 micrometer. Either absorbed or scattered back to the extraterrestrial region, to atmosphere, etc. तो क्या हो गया? अब that radiation, it reach on the earth. It has a thermal energy. So in a beginning, when the earth was formed, what happens? आप जानते हैं कि coolest surface temperature था, iceberg था, पहाड़ भी था, पहाड़ में भी आइस था, सब जगह आइस था, कहीं कुछ नहीं था. अब वो सोलर रेडिएशन जब आया तो आइस की रिफ्लेक्टिविटी ज्यादा होती है, कुछ तो ऑब्जर्व करेगा. मैंने टुक्स बिलियन ईयर्स, ये हम जो कहा 5 मिनट में नहीं हुआ है, बिलियन ईयर्स. अब क्या हो गया कि अब वो जो टेम्परेचर क्या हुआ कि जब बढ़ेगा तो एटमॉस्फेरिक टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा, क्योंकि एटमॉस्फेयर एयर है, एयर में जरा सा भी एनर्जी दीजिएगा तो जैसे कन्वेक्टर यूज करते हो तो आधा घंटा चलो जरूर गर्म हो जाए, एसी को आधा घंटा चलोगे तब ठंडा शुरू होना शुरू होगा, तो हीटिंग, तो टेम्परेचर बढ़ गया. और इफ टेम्परेचर अबव द आइस इज इंक्रीज्ड, व्हाट विल हैपन? जैसे आप आइस क्यूब निकालते हैं फ्रिज से तो पिघलना से और स्टेगनेंट रहता है, ध्यान देखिएगा. तो व्हाट हैपेंस? द आइस स्टार्ट्स मेल्टिंग, और आइस मेल्टिंग करने लगा तो पहले तो स्टेगनेंट होगा ना, या देखिएगा. और chemical composition of the water is H2O. It has a binding energy. Hydrogen and oxygen has combined the binding energy. But there is a theory, what Aloysius also says, yeah, someone else says, the optics has two theories. Huygens principle, wave theory, and then ray optics, photons. Huygens wave theory gives thermal energy, and ray optics gives the photon energy. And it is very difficult to say that Huygens theory is not good, or some law is proved by Huygens theory. I will not go much on it because our lecture will be getting. So that photon, when it's tied to the H2O, stagnant water, what will happen? अगर भीड़ में होता बम छोड़ दिए तो भीड़ छितर बितर हो जाता है. Similar way, oxygen and hydrogen is deionized. इसको कहते हैं बम्बार्डमेंट कर तोड़ दिया. ठीक भाषा में बोलोगे तो ऐसा मारा फोटॉन जो है वो दोनों अलग अलग हो गए. अब ऑक्सीजन तो अलग हो गया, हाइड्रोजन अलग हो गया, तो ऑक्सीजन तो एटमॉस्फेयर में आ गया. जब ध्यान सुनिए, दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ. और हाइड्रोजन क्या किया कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो एटमॉस्फेयर में था उसे मिलकर हाइड्रोकार्बन बनाया. वो लाइट रिएक्शन डे रिएक्शन, दिन में तो एनर्जी लेता है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेता है, और रात को एलडी बना दिया. दैट वाज द फर्स्ट क्रिएशन ऑफ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. और उसका उदाहरण क्या है कि एनी रेनी सीजन ऑन द रोड, इफ वाटर इज स्टेगनेंट, फर्स्ट हरा हरा चीज पाएंगे और फिर जाकर के वो देखेंगे बढ़ता जाएगा. इट बी वेरी फास्ट. एंड एल्गी हैज अ मेनी पार्ट ऑफ इन आवर लाइफ. फॉर एग्जांपल उसको फर्टिलाइजर के लिए यू कैन यूज एज अ फर्टिलाइजर. एंड फ्रॉम द एल्गी जब टेम्परेचर बढ़ने लगा तो उसमें कीड़े मकोड़े आने लगे. फॉर एग्जांपल यू टेक बनाना, समटाइम इफ बनाना इज longer time, insect will be created within them. Can you say how this happens? It is a biological process. It is in absence of the oxygen. It creates. तो दिन रात होता है तो लाइट भी रहती है, रात भी रहता है. तो फ्रॉम एल्गी फॉर्मेशंस और ऑल इंसेक्ट हाइब्रिडिंग सिस्टम करते करते हम लोग उसी तरह बहुत ज्यादा नहीं जाएंगे कि फिर वो गधा बना, घोड़ा बना, आदमी बना, खच्चर बना. सो दैट इज, तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई बिलीव that हम लोग जो फाइट करते हैं, what we are fighting, this cause, that cause, this reason is not important. Important thing that one should have like-minded people. And if you see, India is one of the countries what I think that some of the speakers say the first church or second church, their first mosque or second mosque was built in India itself. So, and this was built in a conjunction, in a efforts by mostly Hindu people, not the Christian or Muslim or any other. Muslim came later on, Christian came later on, but before that, we have the example of this thing. So at least all the educated people who are doing something in their life, they should be at least away from that. Because the caste and religion destroy not only family, whole country, whole world is worse. That is what I think. So now next slide. Radius sugar I have already given, inner core I have blood body temperature I have already explained. This is also I will explain. Right. O3 अब देखिए. Now presence of O3 depletion, there is a depletion in the ozone. Why? Satellite is crossing atmosphere and all the satellite emits CO, carbon monoxide, not carbon dioxide. So that carbon monoxide combined with the ozone converted to carbon dioxide and ozone layer is depleted. Because it is called depletion of the ozone layer. And once the ozone layer is depleted, unwanted radiation coming to the earth. And because of that, you might have seen some animals are brown becoming white. Some man's skin becoming white only because of that. It is sometimes cancerous to the human being. So you are doing the work which is destroying your life, not today, but nowadays you are seeing every country wants 45 satellites, 50 satellites. So what will happen to the ozone layer? The nature, if you are disturbing the nature, nature will not ask you whether I want to disturb you or not. They are disturbed. In that way, who is going to be affected? Nobody. So you have to be very much careful about the what we are doing. We should take care. अब जैसे कोई काम करने के लिए नहीं कहते हैं कि यार ऐसा काम करो कि दूसरे का इफेक्ट नहीं हो. आजकल वही लोग काम कर रहे हैं कि हमारे दुश्मन को इफेक्ट करे, भले उनको फायदा हो चाहे ना हो. ऐसे लोग ज्यादा दिन तक सर्वाइव नहीं करते हैं और ज्यादा सोसाइटी में नहीं. नेक्स्ट आप देखिए, not only that, the depletion of the ozone layer depleted the ecological system. What is the meaning of ecological system? Ecological system is a generation of tree, plants, is a generation of the algae. और algae को खाद की तरह यूज कर सकते हैं. If there is no plant, what will happen? What I have explained you, just like a water phenomena, that process is known as photosynthesis process. Why? Photon is coming, synthesis is taking place, so photosynthesis. Same thing happens with the leaves of the plant. All the leaves of the plant contains 90 to 95, most of them contain the 90-95 H2. Solar radiation falling on the leaves, again H2O is divided, oxygen emitted, carbon dioxide absorbed. That means plant emits oxygen, conserve, take, consume carbon dioxide. Human being takes oxygen and discharge carbon dioxide. So plant and human being exist together itself, and because of that, it is called a complementary function. And because of that, all the government, देखिए वो ये तो नहीं कह सकते हैं, लेकिन हर समर में जो है millions plant is planted, but after that nobody take care. हम लोग के सामने कुछ दत्तुल के लिए तोड़ देता है, तो किसी के लिए तोड़ देता है, उनसे पूछे तो उसको क्यों नहीं मना करने जाना, झगड़ा करो आप. ये this is the mindset which we are having in the rural area. So this should be also given. लगाना ही, plantation is not only important, the protection of plantation is important. Today we will plant the tree, but fruit will get better. Immediately not get. हम लोगों ने वहाँ पर हर प्लांट लगाया है, जरूरी नहीं कि उसका हम फल खाएं, बच्चे तो खाएंगे, वो क्या करेंगे, आशीर्वाद देंगे, जो भी होगा होगा. तो because of that, the ecology is a very important part of the environment. In an environment, there is a carbon dioxide, oxygen. In Second World, prior to the Second World War, the level of the CO2 was 273 parts per million. And 1 million oxygen में जो है 1 part molecule जो है carbon dioxide 1 ppm. But today, like Ukraine war, Can you imagine how much carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide will be emitted? Even far in the jungle, only due to sun. If sun is giving very hot temperature and plants collide to each other, sparking dry plants, sparking take place and fire is taking place. And now you can see how much CO2 might be emitted. So now the human beings are responsible, particularly after Second World War, due to industrialization. अब आप देखिए, हम लोग पहले सोचते थे, तो हिंदी बोले थोड़ा आपको अच्छा लगेगा, बूढ़े लोग ये साबुन को रगड़ उसका लास्ट तक, जब तक वो एकदम पतला ना हो जाए उसको फेंकते ही नहीं, भले वो जानते हो या नहीं जानते। हम क्या करते हैं, जरा हाथ में जरा पतला हो गया फेंक देते हैं, but you just see the industry where the soap is generated, how much chemical waste is there, how much energy is used, how much soil is corroded, how much river is corroded. If you use this thing, I think our older people were more intelligent than us because they are more eco-friendly than us. So first we have to make the ecological, and now this thing is a complicated. और के बारे में मैं आगे बताता हूँ, ये विजय उसमें नहीं चाहिए, ये भी मैं बता चुका हूँ। अब यहाँ पे पिक्चुअल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू समझ लिया, जितनी भी चीजें हमने कहा है, अब देखिए सन से जो है रेडिएशन आया है, कहाँ से रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है, कहाँ से ऑब्जर्व हो रहा है, the above the atmosphere is extraterrestrial, below the terrestrial region. So terrestrial region में ही जो है सब इकोलॉजी है, इन्वायरमेंट है, ऑल द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स। सो अगर इसके टेम्परेचर को आज से हो रहा है ना कि यहाँ का जो है किसी ने कहा कि मतलब क्लाइमेट को सस्टेन, क्लाइमेट खराब हो, इन्वायरमेंट फ्रेंडली होना चाहिए, कौन करेगा? ह्यूमन बीइंग के अलावा गाय भैंस बकरे नहीं करेंगे, वी हैव टू डू। Why? अब देखिए, we are using electricity here. मैंने इनको पसंद आप में से किसी को बता सकता, 1 kilowatt hour, 1 electricity is generated from the site, 1 kg. क्यों? कोल को जलाते हैं, if you are burning the coal, it gives thermal energy to run the turbine, but at the same time it gives CO2 also, atmosphere. So using the grid power, you are disturbing the atmosphere, environment, and also disturbing the temperature of the environment. और temperature of the environment increase, जब आप देखें climate change वाले बोलते हैं इतने साल में 1.5 डिग्री, तो क्या होगा? Iceberg will start melting, sea level increase करेगा, छोटे-छोटे countries खत्म हो जाएंगे. So all things are happening in a terrestrial region, and all phenomena is disturbed by the human being just for the selfishness. Selfishness means there is a need of things, there is a greed of things. हम लोग चलते थे, साइकिल चलाते थे, तो बड़े खुश होते थे, यार स्कूटर हो जाता तो अच्छा हो, स्कूटर हुआ, यार कार आ गया, मारुति कार नहीं यार देखने में बढ़िया लग रहा है, हुंडू है, पता नहीं क्या क्या हो, बला बला। अब देखिए, सबसे पहले मैंने नैनो गाड़ी, सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ, मैंने स्कूटर के बाद नैनो करना। भाई आपको अगर बलिया से यहाँ आई जस्ट जानते हैं, नैनो गाड़ी भी ला देगी, नर्सरी भी लाएगी, तिल किसमें ज्यादा खर्चा होगा, नर्सरी में ज्यादा खर्चा। आप क्या करना है, CO2 दे रहे हैं, टेम्परेचर बढ़ा रहे हैं, अपने मजे इसी में बैठे, दूसरे क्या होगा, बगल की टेम्पो वाला जाएगा तो गरिया का जगह धुआं फेंक के भाग, पहले धुआं बहुत फेंकता था, अभी भी मैंने फेंकता तो होगा ही थोड़ा सा बहुत। तो ये इसको बोलते हैं ग्रेड। इस हम लोग यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं, इसी तरह हम लोग अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, लेकिन हमारे लाइफ की फिलॉसफी जो चीज देखने में अच्छी लगेगी और जो चीज खाने में अच्छा लगेगा वो आप इस तरीके से ये ध्यान रख लीजिएगा। बहुत लोग कहते हैं, जैसे बहुत लोग आते हैं यहाँ पर टाइल्स लगा दो, ग्रेनाइट लगा दो, हमने तुम संभल के नहाओ या फिर कौन बड़ी खराब चीज है, नहा लो, अपना नहाना ही है ना, और क्या करना, साबुन लगा लो मतलब। और टाइल्स लगाने का मतलब क्या हुआ, पहाड़ को खोदोगे, बनाओगे, जनरेटर से चलेगा, ये सब। अब देखिए कितना है, तो फॉर स्मॉल थिंग वी आर डिस्टर्बिंग इन्वायरमेंट एंड वी आर डिस्टर्बिंग we are aiding to disturb the climate. और अब क्या हो रहा है, अमेरिका कह रहा है कि इंडिया देश दे रहा है, इंडिया कर रहा है, इंडिया कर रहा है, चाइना दे रहा है, कुछ नहीं। इन्वायरमेंट तो बाबू ऐसा है, टेम्परेचर जो है कि इसके लिए कोई पासपोर्ट की जरूरत नहीं होती, वीसा की जरूरत नहीं होती है। ये तो हवा के साथ मूव करेगा, आप भी मर जाओगे सब। तो ये सब बहानेबाजी जो है वो अलग बात है, और उसमें बहानेबाजी ऐसा इसीलिए मैं इस फिगर में दिखाया। आइए अब देखिए, जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है इमेज डिस्प्लेसमेंट, ये भी आपका जो थंब रूल ही है। लैम्डा टी इज इक्वल टू 3000 हमने लिखा, इसके 299 समथिंग होता है, 3000 सबको याद है। अब देखिए, अगर टी 6000 केल्विन है तो लैम्डा क्या होगा, मैकेनिकल वाले बताओ। उधर देखो, लैम्डा टी इक्वल टू, पहाड़ा पूछ रहा हूं और कुछ नहीं पूछ रहा, टेबल। लैम्डा टी इक्वल टू 3000 एंड टी इक्वल टू 6000, तो लैम्डा क्या होगा? हाँ, अच्छा, यही आपको पहाड़ा पड़ेगा। अरे आप 3000 में 6000 का भाग दोगे तो 5 होगा। अब देखो, मैं यही पे, अब यही प्रॉब्लम है आपके स्टूडेंट में। जो मैं क्लास में प्राइमरी स्कूल खोला हूँ, वहां पर 0 का पहाड़ा से 11 तक पहाड़ा बहुत डेली प्रयास होता है। तो जीवन में कम कभी से गलती न करना। 0.5 हो गया, ये एवरेज वेवलेंथ है जो सन जो है इमिट करता है, एवरेज वेवलेंथ 0 से एवरेज 0.5, और मैक्सिमम एनर्जी कंटेंट अराउंड 0.5 में। अर्थ का टेम्परेचर 300 होता है, तो अगर T 300 होगा तो लैम्डा क्या होगा? अब तो सही बताइए। अरे 3000/300 कितना होगा? हाँ यार, तुम हो गया, तुम पानी पिलाओ यार हमको। 3000/300 10 माइक्रोमीटर होगा, ठीक है। अब देखिए, 10 माइक्रोमीटर इज मच मोर देन 0.5 माइक्रोमीटर, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट सन इमिट्स रेडिएशन ऑफ शॉर्ट वेवलेंथ और अर्थ इमिट्स रेडिएशन लॉन्ग वेवलेंथ। और ये एटमॉस्फेयर की दो प्रॉपर्टी होता है, इट अलाउज शॉर्ट वेव रेडिएशन बट डजंट अलाउ टू लॉन्ग वेव टू एस्केप, because of it is also referred as a trapping of the solar radiation in a terrestrial region, and because of that temperature increases, because the iceberg melted and all phenomena happen. बात समझ में? अब देखिए, the same property, the glass was invented 450 years back. Before that, how solar energy was used? Because white color earlier, जैसे जब मानव जात हुआ तो 3 ही कलर थे, व्हाइट था, ग्रीन था, काला था। काला क्यों? क्योंकि आप हम जो लोग जाओगे मैंने कैसे पत्थर बने, चिंगारी बने, कैसे आग लगे। ब्लैक कलर ऑब्जर्व सोलर रेडिएशन, तो लोगों ने क्या किया कि जहां पर सोलर को ऑब्जर्व करना तो काला कर देते, घड़े में लेकर पानी गर्म हो जाता था। बट व्हेन द ग्लास इन्वेंटेड और एनी ट्रांसपेरेंट मटेरियल इन्वेंटेड, इट हैज a very unique property similar to the atmosphere. It transmits the short wave radiation but not allowed to go outside. जो हमको आप ऊपर ग्रीन हाउस दिखाई दिया, आप लोग देखना है, कितने लोग देखे हैं, ग्लास का वाल है, ग्लास के ऊपर है, ग्लास आता है और उसको ऑब्जर्व होने के बाद वो लॉन्ग वेव में बाहर नहीं जाने। बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द टेम्परेचर इंक्रीजेज, दैट इज कॉल्ड द ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट, एंड दैट फिनोमेनन कॉल्ड द ग्लोबल ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट। व्हाई ग्लोबल ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट? बिकॉज एल्गी कलर वाज ग्रीन and due to atmosphere algae was created. It is called the, it is my way of interpretation. वो आप बहुत जगह पाओगे, बहुत तरह से इंटरप्रिटेशन है, मैं उसमें नहीं जाता हूँ, but I have tried that how a layman I can try to explain that for the global greenhouse effect. The global greenhouse effect is converted into the microclimate conditions like that, and in that case summer crop or winter crop can be grown in the summer crop. It's off season production. और आप सीजन प्रोडक्शन में तो महंगा बेचेंगे। हाँ, तो ये आई एक्सप्लेन द टेंपरेचर दैट्स व्हाट -60 फ्रोजन स्टेट, पोलर स्टॉर्म, आइसबर्ग, ये सब मैंने बता चुका है। ये तो जस्ट मैंने रीड करने के बताया, तो आप बहुत एक घंटा और हम लोग लेक्चर में, लेकिन नहीं है। अब देखिए आप साथ वीडियो में क्या प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ सनलाइट इज इक्वल टू एच आई वाले एक्सप्लेन यू फोटोन। चलिए मैं बता चुका हूँ। हाँ, अब देखिए, एक देयर इज ए क्वेश्चन ऑफ द डायरेक्ट रेडिएशन एंड रेडिएशन। तो एटमॉस्फेयर व्हिच वाज डिस्कसिंग इज ट्रीटेड एज अ पोरस रेडिएशन। सो सोलर रेडिएशन of having a 0.5 nanometer, if reaches Earth directly, is a direct Earth radiation. But if suppose star is getting 10 place, it's called a diffuse radiation. Sunny day, you have mostly dim radiation, direct radiation. And then the cloudy condition, you diffuse radiation. For daylighting, diffuse radiation ही करना है. और फॉर एग्जांपल मैं कई जगह हमने देखा जिसका बल्ब पॉइंट क्या है, इसको जलने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. अब हम लोग 24 घंटा इसको जलाते हैं, because you don't know how much price per paying for it. एक तो बिजली का बिल बढ़ेगा, दूसरा कितना CO2 जाएगा. ये बिल्डिंग इसीलिए बनाया गया कि दिन में आपको लाइट कहीं जलाने की जरूरत है. इसी को कहते हैं बेसिक पैसिव कूलिंग कंसेप्ट. अंडरग्राउंड क्यों बनाया गया? अर्थ की एनर्जी आएगा. विंड टावर क्यों बनाया गया? ऑल कंसेप्ट है विंड टावर. ठीक है. अब एयर का दिया कंपोजिशन, मतलब हमने बता दिया. वाटर का क्या? अब देखो दूसरी चीज क्या है कि व्हाई एसिस्मेटिक वे हम आई हैव रिटन हियर. पहले कहा जाता था जाओ बगीचा में हवा खा लो भाई तबीयत ठीक हो जाए. घर में कोई आता था भाई ब्रिंग वाटर, ब्रिंग फूड, एग्जैक्टली नहीं लगा. अब क्या होता है भाई? क्लीन एयर, क्लीन वाटर, ऑर्गेनिक फूड. ये तो पहले हम लोग करते, अब करने क्यों जरूरत है? क्योंकि हमने इसको खराब कर दिया. अब ये देखिए आपका जो है ये एल्गी फॉर्मेशन जो आजकल जैसे हम बरसात में जितने पौध है अगर स्टेगनेंट है, हवा नहीं तो एल्गी फॉर्मेशन बने. और एल्गी फॉर्मेशन से आप खाद क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, आप चीज क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. ये जो भी है. और इसीलिए क्या जाता है कि स्विमिंग पूल में, या ध्यान सुनिए, स्विमिंग पूल में जो यूज नहीं होता तो स्विमिंग पूल पानी को खाली कर. क्यों खाली कराया जाता है? क्योंकि एल्गी होगा तो वाटर की ऑक्सीजन को लेगा या हाइड्रोजन जो भी लेगा, मतलब. और पानी में अगर उसमें नहाएंगे या कोई जानवर चला जाए, मछलियां तो दम मर. तो इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस किसी को कि यू शुड नॉट क्रिएट a situation where any one of the living organism species goes down. जैसे वो बोलते हैं ना, लड़के वो दिखाते कौन सा वो लंबा जानवर था वो खत्म हो गया. हाँ, वो इतना खबू था लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म का, पूरा सिस्टम को कोलैप्स करा. तो ऐसे सिचुएशन हमको नहीं क्रिएट करना चाहिए. अब ये फार्मूला हमने ये डेवलप किया है. NIJ, J refers to the species. तो जो भी कहते हैं ना 55 लाख से. अब आप कहोगे कि प्रूफ किया कि नहीं किया. हमने प्रूफ नहीं किया, लेकिन जो ऑब्जर्वेशन देख रहा हूँ उसके बेसिस पर हम बताना. ये एक्चुअली थीम जो हमने आपका दिया. और J इज द नंबर ऑफ द स्पेसीज. इसे मानो जाता है 7 बिलियन है, 7 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन ऑफ वर्ल्ड. उसी तरह से जो है उसमें कई मानव जाति स्पेसीज एक है, बट हाइब्रिडिंग से कई. वो टोटल आपका सिग्नल. उसी तरह से एवरी स्पेसीज हैज डिफरेंट हाइब्रिडिंग सिस्टम एंड टोटल नंबर इज. अगर एक का घटेगा तो दूसरा अपने आप. और कार एक्सीडेंट में 2 आदमी मरता है ना, तो 2 आदमी समझो कि दूसरे से बढ़ रहा हो, कम नहीं. दिस इज वे इन व्हिच आई एक्सप्लेन, एंड दिस इज मोर और लेस द कंक्लूजन ऑफ माय thesis lecture, and I'm trying my best to prove that one by collecting the data. पर ईयर कितने आदमी मर रहे हैं, कितने जन्म ले रहे हैं, पर ईयर कितने है, स्टैटिस्टिकली है अपने. तो ले करके उसको गुणा भाग करके हम इसको प्रूफ करने की कोशिश करें. थैंक यू.
Thank you very much, Professor Tiwari. I remember in late 70s, 1970 के दशक के उत्तरार्ध में सुपरसोनिक जेट बने थे जो आवाज के गति से ज्यादा गति से चलते थे, लेकिन उसमें फ्रियान गैस यूज होती थी. फ्रियान की प्रॉपर्टी है कि जो ओजोन गैस है करीब 35-40 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर बहुत लेयर है, वो ओजोन गैस को तोड़ देती है. और जब ये स्टडी हुआ कि ओजोन गैस बहुत तेजी से टूट रहा है, तो इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी ने बैन कर दिया सुपरसोनिक जेट। तो सुपरसोनिक जेट नहीं चलती अब। और इसी तरह से पहले जो रेफ्रिजरेटर होते थे हमारे घरों में, उनमें फ्रियॉन गैस यूज होती थी। अब फ्रियॉन गैस की प्रॉपर्टी है ओजोन को तोड़ देना। ओजोन में ऑक्सीजन के 3 परमाणु होते हैं, उन तीनों को तोड़ करके ऑक्सीजन और एक परमाणु बना दिया ऑक्सीजन का। तो इस तरह से ओजोन खत्म हो गया। ओजोन की प्रॉपर्टी है कि जो पराबैंगनी किरणें हैं सूरज से आती हैं, उनको एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है। एब्जॉर्ब करने से वो किरणें हमारे तक नहीं पहुंच पाती हैं। मेरी एक छोटी सी कविता है, बहुत पहले मैंने बनाई थी। स्टार्ट है, हम प्यार तुम्हें करते हैं ऐसे, मछली करती जल से, जल करता सागर से, सागर दूर क्षितिज से। अब यहाँ पर है, पराबैंगनी किरणें जैसे खुद को विलीन कर ओजोन बना जीवन देती अपना जीवन खोकर। और दूसरी है कि जिस तरह से बादल आकर के पानी बरसा करके खेतों को सींच करके गायब हो जाता है, और वृक्ष जो हैं कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को लेकर के ऑक्सीजन बनाते हैं, और हमको याद दिलाता है शिव का, जिन्होंने विषपान कर लिया था दुनिया को बचाने के लिए। कुछ इस तरह से है कविता मेरी, और कभी मुझे याद नहीं है, कभी मौका मिला तो मैं आप लोगों को सुनाऊंगा। तो एक तो ये चीज हुई। दूसरी चीज जो है, मैं बहुत ही आशावादी व्यक्ति हूँ। जैसे प्रोफेसर तिवारी ने कहा कि ओजोन जब खत्म हो जाएगा, सब लोग खत्म होने लगेंगे पृथ्वी को, हम कैसे जिंदा रहेंगे, क्या होगा। ठीक ऐसे ही 1700 कुछ में एक स्टडी हुई थी इंग्लैंड में कि इतने घोड़े थे लोगों के आवागमन के लिए कि घोड़े की लीद से वहाँ की सड़कें 30 फीट तक भर जाएंगी। फिर हम कैसे रहेंगे, क्या करेंगे, कैसे रहेंगे। वो सिचुएशन नहीं आई। धीरे धीरे पेट्रोल मिला, हम घोड़े को छोड़ दिए, हमने कार बनाया, कार में हम चलने लगे, फिर डीजल आया। अब था कि जब पेट्रोल खत्म हो जाएगा तो हम क्या करेंगे। तो इसी बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी में कुछ लोग हैं, इन्होंने हाइड्रोजन पर काम किया, हाइड्रोजन से बाइक चलाई, और हाइड्रोजन से अब कार भी चलने जा रही है, इलेक्ट्रिकल कार हो गई है। हमारी डिपेंडेंस पेट्रोल पर 1-2 डिकेड में खत्म हो जाएगी। तो आशावादी दृष्टिकोण है। इसी आशावादी दृष्टिकोण से सर, यदि पृथ्वी पर ऐसी आपदा आई कि ओजोन खत्म होने लगे, तो मेरा विचार है हम मार्स पर चले जाएंगे। हाँ हाँ,
सन खत्म हो जाए, सन की एनर्जी खत्म हो जाए। अभी पूरे वर्ल्ड में अब सूरन कंट्री है, वहाँ पर सूरन पीता नहीं, तो आर्टिफिशियल सूरन होते हैं सर्वाइवल, और बाहर के लड़के जाते हैं पगला जाते हैं। दूसरी चीज, सन ऐसी चीज है कि 8 बजे से पहले वहाँ पर विटामिन देती है, दिन भर विटामिन नहीं देती है, 8 बजे से पहले ही वो विटामिन देती है। अगर आप दिन भर धूप में खड़े रहोगे तो फिर पगला जाओगे। तो भगवान ने नेचर ऐसे दिया है, जब वो शांति में है, शांति में उसको स्वीकार करिए। कुल मिलाकर के शांति से रहोगे तो ज्यादा दिन जियोगे, अशांति में रहोगे तो जल्दी मर जाओगे। भाई इतना कहना ज्यादा।
तो मेरे कहने का मतलब है कि हम मार्स पर चले जाएंगे। मार्स पर हम कैसे बसेंगे, क्या करेंगे, तो मेरी एक साइंस फिक्शन है मार्शियन सेटलर 2, उसे पढ़िए, सारी टेक्नोलॉजी उसमें दी हुई है, हम कैसे बसेंगे। और एलगी तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, हाँ तभी होगा। और एलगी की प्रॉपर्टी है कि वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेकर के ऑक्सीजन छोड़ता है। उसकी कैपेसिटी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एब्जॉर्ब करने की 400 टाइम्स है नॉर्मल ट्री एंड प्लांट से।
कार्बन कैप्चरिंग के तरह से इसको यूज किया जाता है।
हाँ।
चलो, बहुत लंबा चौड़ा है।
बहुत सो सर आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इतना इंफॉर्मेटिव लेक्चर देने के
हम
लिए।
आपस में लेक्चर कम सुनते हैं।
So thank you very much. Now I declare this session to be over. Thank you very much. हम लोग फिर मिलेंगे 3 बजे कंक्लूडिंग सेशन में या एक ये समापन में। 3 बजे जी, 3 बजे से है कंक्लूडिंग सेशन है। जितने भी चेयरमैन हैं सेशन के वो लोग बताएंगे उनके उनके सेशन में क्या क्या हुआ। उसके बाद फिर हम सब लोग मिल करके कुछ चाय पानी करेंगे, ये सब करेंगे। Professor K.K. Singh, you want to say something? Hello? Are you listening, Professor K.K. Singh?
Yes, I am listening. I am sorry, I don't want to disturb you.
Thank
I
you,
just
sir.
want to listen to your program, that's all.
आपका लेक्चर बड़ा इंफॉर्मेटिव रहा about the ancient structures and in different kind of structures and different way that we enjoyed a lot. Not only you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words.
And the talk by S.Y. Kulkarni and Brigadier A.P. Singh was also very informative. And thank you all very much. ठीक है डॉक्टर साहब, I think that you will be present in our concluding session, which starts at 3 p.m. today. Thank you.